if you're getting your private pilot's license, maybe use this trick, impress your instructor next time you're doing steep turns. Welcome back, everyone. And today I want to show you something with steep turns and maybe a little trick that can help you out and kind of finesse that steep turn technique for your private or commercial flight training. Really, steep turns is one of those activities I had a lot of fun with. Figured out a couple tricks along the way to teach my students so they could kind of perfect steep turns also. And what's really important about steep turns is trim. Trim is your best friend when flying, and why not use it for steep turn technique? So we're going to set ourselves up. What we typically do with maneuvers, we're going to do our pre-maneuver kind of checklist, do our clearing turn, configure the aircraft for what we want, and then perform our steep turn. So first I'm going to do a clearing turn here at 3,500 feet. Clear left, clear right, and going to do a 90-degree turn to the left. 30 degrees bank, looking out below, in front, and above. Also looking at my FISB, making sure no one's in the area when we do it, maybe behind us. So we'll do a 90-degree turn to the left. And then do a 90-degree turn to the right. Got aircraft there at 3,000 feet. And that's why we do clearing turns, to find those aircraft. You can see it, he's on my FISB, and see and avoid with this BFR maneuver. So we'll wait till he is no factor, past our wing and behind us, and we're going to start configuring our aircraft for the maneuver. So similar with Gumps, I always do gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop, and flaps. And there's not too much to do with a steep turn, but it's key to get yourself configured, get your trim per. So gas is on the right tank, which is what I want for my maneuver. Undercarriage is going to stay up. Mixture is as required. We're in a cruising speed. Prop is going to again stay as required. Safety belts and flaps are going to stay up. We've done our clearing turns. We've already done our pre-maneuver checklist, getting the plane ready. I'm going to pick a point out there, and it does look like there's an airport out in the distance, and that's Randall. So what I'm going to do is use that as my point, center up my heading bug, and just trim the plane out. We're going to get it trimmed nice and level. 3,600 feet is where we're going to start our maneuver for this one, and going to use that point. About 115 to 120 knots is my VA, which is about inches. And again, just kind of trim the plane so it's flying on its own. Nothing as far as very little control inputs to stay straight and level. And just make sure the plane is nice and stable before you start the maneuver. Take your time, get everything all set up first. If you rush the maneuver, the plane's going to start getting away from you, all right? What we're going to do is start our left turn. And we're going to roll in, bump the power a little bit, and do one full down of nose up trim. On the Cessna 172 I was flying, it was about a 1 1/4, 1.5 nose up trim, or on the trim wheel to help us, because as we turn we lose our vertical lift, so might as well use that trim to help us out. So going to look to the left, make sure no one's there. Like I said, I've done my clearing turns, but we're just going to again keep our eyes out of the plane. I'm going to start rolling into my 45-degree left bank. Little bit of power, one full nose up, and keep that 45-degree bank, and really maybe use a little bit of nose down force should I have put in a little too much trim. So I gained about 50 feet so far. I'm going to roll a little more in my bank, maybe 5 degrees more than that 45, which you'll actually lose a little bit of altitude because you're losing that vertical lift, but really it's a hands-off maneuver. If you see just a little bit of correction with the ailerons, and really 2 fingers to touch, keeping that 45 degrees bank, kind of coming around. Going to find my airport out there. Look at my heading bugs coming around, still at 3,600 feet. Going to start rolling out, take out my power, and one full nose down, and we completed that maneuver, 3,600 feet, stayed within really ATP standards, with just using a little bit of correction. So what we're going to do is go to the right. Now the right's going to be a little tougher, a little more right rudder, because you got the right turning tendencies, you got the right bank, and also a little bit more trim, not too much, but I'm still going to use that full wheel and maybe a little scotch more. So we're going to look to the right, starter turn to the right, a little bit of a power bump, one, and a little bit of a scotch, keeping that ball centered with that right rudder, and really just keep it at 45 degrees. And it's just going to kind of come around. I'm getting a little bit of altitude. I could use a little more bank to lose altitude, not too much. And really maybe a little bit of nose downforce too. But you want to kind of keep this maneuver at 45 degrees. But really hands off, and the plane just flies right around on itself. Maybe that scotch is a little too much. So we're coming back around. We're going to keep our eyes out of the plane, keep the nose attitude exactly where it's supposed to be. I got my airport right ahead. I'm going to start rolling out, power out, and then one and a scotch nose down, and we've gained 20 feet on that maneuver. But if you use the trim and you use it to your advantage, you can actually make this maneuver really easy, where you have more time to focus on where you are. Do you need to climb a little bit, descend a little bit, add a little bit of trim, really focus outside, see the conditions around you, see where you are, where you're going to roll out, and what's going on. Trim is your friend. We use that in training. Trim, and why not use that for maneuvers? But the key is to get that maneuver started first, get the plane perfectly trimmed out, so that way you're not climbing, descending right on speed, no acceleration, no deceleration, and on that constant heading. Private pilot's license, maybe use this trick, impress your instructor next time you're doing steep turns. For your BFR, you can practice these on your own, so that way you just get a more proficient pilot, and that's what we're all here for, is to build proficiency and really make ourselves better. So there's my tip for you guys today with steep turns. Again, subscribe and hit that bell notification. We put out videos on destinations, how to improve maneuvers. Really just want to build an aviation community where everyone is learning, and just trying to make you and everyone else, along with myself, a safer, better pilots. So stay tuned for the next ones, guys, and I'll see you later.